What's up, Fat Family? It's another week, and we have another fight card to talk about. It is UFC Sacramento, or better to be known as UFC Fat's birthday. It's the birthday card. They put this one together for me because it falls on my birthday. No, it is UFC Sacramento, and man, I've spent way too much time in Sacramento. It's quite the place. Anyways, this one's exciting. I am fired up about this one. This is going to be a fun one. In the main event, we have Anthony Hernandez, Fluffy, against Gregory Rodrigues, or Robocop. And, dude, this guy, he always throws me off. So he's 34 now. He looks the same as when he got in the UFC, like, 4 or 5 years ago when he was like 29, 30. This guy looks 87. I swear this guy is 87 years old. And is just, yeah, he comes from a part of Brazil where they don't keep birth records. And he showed up. He auditioned to be in the UFC at 68 years old. And was just like, oh, no, I'm 29 years old. Trust me. No, he is shredded though. He's in super good shape. So he's a super ripped 48-year-old. Hey, I mean, they exist. Yoel Romero's 50, and we all know he's probably actually 60, but he still looks like he's 30. So, I mean, it happens. But I digress. Let's get into this. Let's look at some of the tail of the tape on this one. We got Fluffy, 6 foot. Gregory at 6'3". This is obviously at 185. Fluffy's 32. Gregory is 72, but claims 34. Same reach, 75 inch, blah, 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 blah. What? Let me get so Fluffy's last fight was Sean, right? Strickland, where he got finished. And then what was Gregory's last fight? Okay, so Gregory has went 4-1 in his last 5. He beat Duncan by decision. Then he lost to Jared Cannonier. He put it on Cannonier a bit though, but Cannonier is just a savage and withstood the storm and came back. He got tired in that one. Got finished in the 4th round. Then he KO'd Jack Hermanson. Then he got a decision against Roman Kopylov. And then he KO'd his last one in March this year. He KO'd Ferreira in the 1st round. Beat Ferreira. I don't remember his first name. Bruno Ferreira. So yeah, Gregory's a savage. Let's look at... Because I know Fluffy was on a run before he lost to Sean, so let's look at him. Yeah, Fluffy is also 4-1 in his last 5. He subbed Roman Kopylov. He KO'd Michel Pereira. He decisioned Brendan Allen. He subbed Roman Dolidze. And then, yeah, that last one, his loss by KO in the 3rd round to Sean Strickland. This is going to be a good one, guys. I cannot wait for this one. I mean... Gregory, in kind of his lone loss of the last 5, that one against Jared Cannonier, he got tired and got finished in the 4th. Well, as we know, that is Fluffy's MO. This guy is he's a savage. He just goes and goes and goes, non-stop pressure, wrestling. He's in your face. He's jabbing. He's shooting. He's riding. I mean, he's just non-stop. I mean... And I admire a guy like that, honestly, because, I mean, you can tell, like, you know, it's even in his nickname, you know, it's kind of like in my nickname, Fat, you know. He's not the most athletic, right? You know, he's not the most genetically gifted. He doesn't have the most natural, raw talent. He doesn't have the longest reach. He's probably not the strongest in the division. You know, he doesn't have the best body, blah, 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 blah. But he's a fucking grinder. He's a grimy grinder that just works his ass off and is gonna get it done. Gotta respect that. He's got that Mexican fighting spirit. Yeah. What's not to love about Fluffy? Anthony Hernandez. But Gregory Rodrigues, Robocop, you know, he's He's been, just finishing guys. He's got crazy power. He has elite jiu-jitsu accolades. So he feels very confident and safe on the ground. He's a very elite black belt. And yeah, he does have the athletic gifts, right? He might be 67 years old, but he's still built like he's carved out of bronze. He's a Greek god, and he's got, that knockout power. What do I think is going to happen in this one? It's a matter of, is Fluffy going to be able to impose his will on Gregory, or is Fluffy going to get hurt by Gregory? That is the question. Let's pull up odds on this card too. See if we can find some fun bets to place on this card. Because guys, I'm still on a run. I've been tearing it up. This is one of my longest win streaks I've had. I've been doing good on the bets. So now that I just said that, don't listen to any bets I say about this card, because I will get them all wrong now that I said that. Now that I got a little braggy, every single bet is going to be wrong this time. But still, let's pull it up. Let's find some fun bets. It's always fun to find little cheeky bets, little cheeky bets to place. It's always a good time. Hypnotronic motion, hippodisky on the ooh, shanana, ooh. Ooh, shanana. Sorry, I'm logging into my DraftKings. And if you are wondering about that awesome little tune I was just singing, maybe, since my audience is all probably pretty much my age, maybe you guys know. But on Saturday morning cartoons, there was a Build-A-Bear commercial that had that song. And I swear to God, it has been stuck in my head since I was a child. It has been stuck in my head for, 30 years. That stupid Build-A-Bear commercial song where this little girl is doing her Build-A-Bear, and it's this like funky disco song. It's been locked in there. You ever had something stuck in your head that long? A song stuck in your head that long? I swear, it cracks my kid up because I sing that song. I'll walk through the house and sing that song every single day. He's like, "Where does that come from, Dad?" Like, a stupid Build-A-Bear commercial, Saturday morning cartoons, 30 years ago. Don't know why. Can't get out of my head. Okay. Enter the 6-digit code. What the fuck? I swear, it did not make me jump through this many hoops to get into my DraftKings last time. Enter this 6-digit code. And then it doesn't give me the code. Oh no, there it is. I almost gave it to you guys. Almost reading shit out loud. Oh my God, I don't care. Just take me into the app. Oh my God. Guys, we are getting completely derailed because DraftKings is being stupid. I don't even need to log in. I literally just want to look at the odds. Oh my God, I think we're getting somewhere. Okay. We are getting somewhere. We are on DraftKings. Oh my God, no, I don't want to create a new league. Guys, I would not even be ashamed. You should all just click off right now. Stop watching this video. Don't support me. Talk about how much this guy sucks, because this is ridiculous. I am doing terrible for you. We're trying to talk about fights, and I can't even get the odds pulled up. What are you doing, fat? Okay, here we go. We're on track now. We have figured it out. So we have Anthony Hernandez is the minus 198 favorite to Gregory Rodrigues as plus 164. Yeah, I'd say that's probably... I mean, I don't know if I'd have Fluffy that big of a favorite. Man, this is a tough fight to call. I think... man. This is a tough one. The over 3.5 is plus 165, so the odds makers think it's going to go short. It's a little weird because if you think Anthony is going to win, he's not going to sub Gregory. I really, really doubt he's going to sub Gregory. So, I mean, Anthony is more of a decision guy. Why do you think that Anthony is going to win, but it's also not going to go over 3.5 rounds? That seems strange to me. Yeah, those odds don't line up that well. I mean, I'm going Fluffy. I think yeah, I think Fluffy can get it done. I think Fluffy is the better all-around fighter. I just haven't seen Gregory Rodrigues' takedown defense and like bottom game tested all that much, so it'll be interesting. I would definitely, I mean, from a betting perspective, I mean, personally, as far as my pick goes, I'm picking Fluffy. I'm rooting for Fluffy. I hope Fluffy wins. I think Fluffy can probably pull it off. But as far as betting odds, I mean, if you're going to give me plus 164 on Gregory, I mean, throw a few bucks on him. You know, he's got a good shot of winning. You know, he could catch Fluffy with something. You know, Sean's got about as much knockout power as my little sister. So if Sean can finish Fluffy, then Gregory Rodrigues definitely can. So, yeah, I'd put a little bit on Rodrigues, but we're rooting for Fluffy on this channel, right, guys? I'm kidding. You can root for whoever you want for. Root for whoever you want. Moving on, since we've spent 45 minutes on the main event because I couldn't get into DraftKings. In our co-main event, we have Sergey Spivak against Vitor Petrino. You know, the stats are the stats. You know, Sergey has kind of made a career out of taking advantage of the fact that nobody in heavyweight has wrestling and can stay standing up. You know, he takes advantage of that. He wrestles people. What's his record looking like recently? He's 2-3 in his last 5, so not good. He won his last one against Anton Delia, and then he lost to Waldo Cortez Acosta before that. He lost to Gelton Almeida before that. Before that, he subbed Marcin Tybura. And before that, he lost to Cyril Gahn. So, you know, he's a middle-of-the-road middleweight. Or, not middleweight, heavyweight. He's a middle-of-the-road heavyweight. And, yeah. What's Vitor Petrino been up to lately? Vitor Petrino is 3-2 in his last 5. He got subbed by Anthony Smith. He got KO'd by Dustin Jacoby. Oh, so he must have been a light heavyweight then. Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember him. Yeah, he just moved up. Then he had beat Austin Lane, subbed him first round. Then he beat T. Peterson by KO in the 3rd round. And then he won a unanimous decision back in March against Steven Asplund. So, yeah, that's right. He had just moved up. And so, yeah, he's one of the rare heavyweights that's actually, you know, built well for a heavyweight and actually, you know, jacked for a heavyweight. You know, when it comes to like middle of the road sloppy heavyweights, kind of decent, and it doesn't work all the time, guys, but you know, sometimes a decent rule of thumb when it comes to these just sloppy mid-tier whatever heavyweights is the actual athletic one will win because, you know, he is actually athletic. You know, Sergey is actually, you know, for being kind of chubby, he's actually decently athletic for a heavyweight, but I definitely think that Vitor Petrino is probably more athletic. He's faster. He's younger. Yeah, I think give me Vitor Petrino on that one. What are the odds? Yeah, we have Vitor Petrino as a slight favorite, minus 148. Sergey Spivak, plus 124. Yeah, I don't really have any interesting bets for that one other than I would go Vitor. I think Vitor's got this one. Moving on, we have, oh my goodness, I forgot this fight was on this card. I love this fight. We got the reindeer, Reinier de Ridder, the Dutch. Yeah, Dutch. Yeah, if it ain't Dutch, it ain't much. The Dutch powerhouse. I like reindeer. I like old reindeer. He's fun. I'm glad he moved up to light heavyweight. And man, he got roasted for quitting on his stool in his last fight at middleweight. But I mean, he'd had like 5 fights that year, been running through division, and I'm a supporter in the live to fight another day. If you know you don't have it, and yeah, I mean, why? What's the point in going in and getting years? That's what is like missed on all of this. Everyone's all warrior spirit, warrior spirit. Fuck that, dude. Like, you're taking years off your life. You're compromising being able to play with your children or your grandchildren later in life. You're potentially giving yourself, early onset dementia, things like that. You're fucking your life up for this. Because you're passionate about it, you love entertaining the fans. And man, if you're just not feeling it and you don't have it, and it's just, you can tell like you have nothing more to give, I would rather you just fucking say that and be done on the stool. I'll still support you. I'm not going to call you a pussy. Anybody who gets in there is not a pussy. Like, that's just the fact of the matter. So I liked that he quit. If he didn't have anything, oh, okay. I don't like that he quit. I mean, don't clip me, guys. But I like that mindset to be willing to. If you don't have anything left. I mean, I would have liked to see Ilya Taporia not take so much damage. That might alter his career. Tony Ferguson, taking all that damage from Justin Gaethje, altered the rest of his career. You can't just take ass whoopings like this and just power your way through it because, oh, I've got heart. You're a cage fighter, dude. At the highest level, you step into the cage. We know you have fucking heart. You don't need to prove it. Be smart. I'd rather you be smart than have heart. So, anyways, so we got Reinier de Ridder against Roman Dolidze. I also like Roman Dolidze. He's a good fighter. He's decent everywhere. But I'd say probably where he's best is ground game. And that's not going to stack up well against de Ridder. De Ridder's ground game is definitely at a higher level. So I like this fight, but I'd have to think that de Ridder... Oh, yeah, and also Dolidze's 38. I didn't realize he was getting up there so much in age. Yeah, he's 38. And also, it's not like he's, going to be, like, way bigger because, de Ridder just moved up to light heavyweight. Dolidze also moved up to light heavyweight. So this is 2 middleweights fighting at light heavyweight. And I give a big edge to de Ridder. De Ridder's done the right things. He took time off. He let his body recuperate. And now he's back, ready to make his run through light heavyweight. And I think he will. Light heavyweight needs him in it. It's a light division. And I think Reinier de Ridder can become champ at light heavyweight, quite honestly. I'm pretty high on de Ridder. What are the odds? We've got... Yeah, Reinier de Ridder is a pretty huge favorite. He's a negative 375 to Roman Dolidze's plus 295. Yeah, that seems about right to me. The over 2.5 is minus 140. Under 2.5 plus 110. I might play, I don't know. I think de Ridder could sub him, honestly. Let's look at de Ridder's record. Let me get a refresh. How much of a finisher has he been in the UFC? So, oh yeah, I totally forgot about his Kai Boharayo fight. That was in March this year. I forgot about that one. Did I? I would have had to have watched that one. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on that one. But anyways, he subbed Kevin Holland. Then he KO'd Bo Nickel in the second round. Then he won a split decision against Robert Whittaker. Rob won that one, by the way. So technically he's on a 3-fight losing streak because he lost to Robert Whittaker even though the judges are fucking retarded and gave it to him. Then he had that, stool quitting moment I'm talking about against Brendan Allen. And then I guess he lost a unanimous decision to Caio Bajalio. But I don't remember that one for some reason. So I don't know how he done in that one. I'm starting to get a little less high on him now, looking at the record and getting this reminder. What's Dolidze been up to lately? Dolidze lost to Chris Duncan, and he lost to Anthony Hernandez. But before that, he beat our boy Marvin Vettori. Then he beat Kevin Holland. Then he beat Anthony Smith. So is this fight at lightweight, light heavyweight, or middleweight? It's saying here it's at middleweight. I thought Renier was moving up. I don't know. Maybe Renier's not moving up. I guess disregard everything I said about him being in light heavyweight. It looks like this fight's at middleweight. I still think Renier's got this. Yeah. But yeah, maybe not by finish. Dolidze is pretty tough. Let me take another look at this Dolidze record real quick. He did get subbed by Anthony Hernandez, but that was in round 4. After Anthony had exhausted him. Yeah, give me reindeer by decision on this one, I guess. That would be my pick. I don't know. What were the odds? What would the odds be for him to win by decision? If he was to be a little more specific like that. Yeah, a reindeer decision is plus 120. A reindeer sub plus 240. So, man, I don't know that I feel like good about any bets there. Other than, maybe reindeer by decision, it's plus money, throw a few bucks on it, whatever. Moving on, we have Markel Mederos against Mason Jones. Oh, I like Mason. Even though he beat my boy Jeremy Stevens, I didn't like that. I didn't like that one bit. But I like him though. He's an exciting fighter. This is at 155. I'm not familiar with Markel Mederos. Name sounds kind of familiar, but yeah, this should be a good fight. Mason Jones is a dog. Markel, don't know much about him. Let's see what's some of his previous fights. He is on a 4-0-1 streak. His last fight was a draw against Padilla. Before that, he beat M. Chwinsky, A. Hubbard, L. Quinones, and I. Isakov. So he's beat a bunch of people that I have not heard of, really. I mean, I know some of the names, but you know how it is. Mason Jones is 5-0 in his last 5, but only 3 of those have been in the UFC. But he comes from Cage Warriors, which is a very respectable promotion. He beat B. Logan, M. Pagani, then he beat Jeremy Stevens, like I talked about in his UFC debut. Then he beat B. Oki, and then he beat A. Sola back in March. I guess all of these guys fought back in March, apparently. Everybody on this card fought back in March. Give me Mason Jones. What are the odds? Mason Jones. Yeah, Mason Jones, pretty big favorite. He is a minus 285 favorite to Markel Mederos is plus 230, which I agree. Give me Mason Jones, but, I'm not convicted because I don't really know a lot about Mederos. Let me just check time here. I'm determined not to go a million hours on this one, guys. We're only going to go 500,000 hours on this one, okay? Okay. And now we have a ladies fight. The ladies! It's my best Bill Burr impression. Okay. So we have Carly Judice against... All right, let me think about how to say this. Gisela? Let's go with Gisela. Gisela Chaves. 2 women I haven't heard of. Gisela Chaves Doesn't even have a picture on ESPN, so she's probably a newcomer, because as we talked about in my last video, that's the UFC's MO. Bunch of newcomers. I don't care about this one, guys. Sorry. So we're not going to go too in-depth. What are the odds? Carly Judice is a massive favorite at minus 575. So, you know, take that for what you will. I don't have much to say about it. They're two ladies, and they're going to probably throw punches, and there's probably going to be kicks thrown, and there's probably going to be takedowns attempted, and they're going to be in a cage, and there's going to be referees, and there's going to be, you know, fans and stuff. So yeah, that's the pro analysis on that one. Moving on, we have two guys with no profile pictures, so probably two people that nobody knows: Terrence Chatman and Anthony Wint. Anthony Wint sounds kind of familiar. Was he just on Contender Series or something recently? This one is at, what weight class is this? Heavyweight? Okay. Yeah, they don't really have hardly any stats. Looks like Anthony Wint is super short. No, not super short, but you know, he's 5'11". It's short for heavyweight. Sorry, Short Kings. I'm not trying to talk shit. He's short for heavyweight. He's got that Daniel Cormier build. Maybe. I don't know. There's no pictures of him, so I don't know. What are the odds on this one? We have Jesus. Anthony Wint is a minus 1,000 favorite. Terrence Chapman's plus 650. Hey, guys, if last card taught us anything, a couple of those like plus 700 dogs on the last card, like two dogs at plus 700 each, I think, cashed on last card. So fuck it, guys. Throw a couple bucks down. But, you know, UFC doesn't do that too often. They don't do that too often, so I don't know. But I don't know, maybe throw a few bucks down. Who knows? But I don't know either of these guys, so. Moving on. We have Jamal Emmers against Larian Douglas. Jamal Emmers, I know that name. He is 3-2 in his last 5. He beat Hyder Emil. And he beat G. Miranda. Then he lost to Nate Landwehr. Then he won against Dennis Bazookia. Then he lost against Jack Jenkins. So he's, you know, not great. He can beat entry-level UFC guys, but he can't beat guys that... Yeah, that puts him firmly mid-tier. We'll say he's mid-tier. Then this dude, this Larian Douglas KO'd Julian Erosa. Oh, okay, Julian's good. I mean, and I like Julian. Nice. A side story. Julian actually helped me warm up for one of my fights once. He just happened to be in town at the event I was fighting on. I think he was like knew one of the guys in like the main event on the card I was on, and so he wound up being back in the locker room and helping me warm up and stuff. And yeah, he's a cool guy though. Cool guy. I enjoyed meeting him. But anyways, and he's not bad. So, but that was his UFC debut. This guy. Oh, you know what? I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. I remember this guy. Okay. This guy's not bad. He's actually not bad at all. I was actually pretty impressed with that performance against Julian. So I would say, I mean, just looking on Jamal Emmers' record, I mean, Jamal is 22-8, so he's a veteran. To Larian Douglas is 14-5, so I mean, he's not exactly new to this. But just based off Jamal's record and who he's losing to and what I've seen out of Larian in that last fight, I'd say Larian. What are the odds? Yeah, Larian Douglas, big favorite, minus 395. Jamal Emmers, plus 310. Seems about right to me. I would definitely go with Douglas on this one. Man, they've been stacking these cards with a lot of lopsided matches, haven't they? Moving on, we have Kennedy Nzechukwu. Kennedy Nzechukwu. Kennedy Nzechukwu. We'll go with that. You just gotta say it fast. Kennedy Nzechukwu against Shamil Gaziev. This is a heavyweight fight. You know, Kennedy 6'5", Shamil 6'4". These are big boys. But Kennedy is actually, you know, got some muscle definition on him. Shamil's just a big old fat guy. What have they been up to lately? I'm familiar with them both, but, you know, not enough to know exactly what they've been up to lately. Kennedy Nzechukwu's last fight was against Buchecha. It was a draw. Before that, he lost by sub in round 1 to Walter Walker. Okay, but who hasn't been losing by sub to Walter Walker in round 1 there lately? Before that, he beat Bresky. Before that, he beat Barnett. And before that, he lost to Oven St. Preux. So he hasn't been... Yeah. Okay. He hasn't been super active. Gaziev, his last one, he lost to Perokic. And then he lost before that to Waldo Cortez Acosta. Before that, he beat Peterson. Before that, he beat Dante Mays. Before that, he lost to Jairzinho Rosenstruck. So, both kind of middle of the road heavyweights. Shamil is probably a bit more of a wrestler than Kennedy. You know, but Kennedy's longer. As you see how massive my hands are, this is a regular sized Coke can. My hands are, I'm just joking. This is a small Coke can. Sorry, I got sidetracked. I distracted myself there. Kennedy Nzechukwu is plus 114 to Shamil Gaziev's minus 135. Yeah, probably seems about right. The over 1.5 is minus 140. Yeah, it's probably just going to be kind of a sloppy heavyweight fight where they're gassed and not doing much and circling. I'd probably, rather than pick a winner, if you was wanting to place a bet on that one, I'd probably just bet the over 1.5, throw it into a parlay with something. Moving on, we have Chris Padilla against Nazarat Haqparast. Haqparast. I'm very familiar with Nazarat. You know, he's a firmly middle of the road lightweight. What's Chris Padilla been up to lately? Let me get a refresher on him. He is 4-0-1 in his last 5. His last one was a draw against Mederos. Before that, he beat Ismail Bonfim. Before that, he beat Jai Herbert. Before that, he beat Rongzhu. Before that, he beat Long Chop. It's not a bad little run there. He's been doing pretty good. He fights out of Fight Science MMA. His nickname is Taco. Okay, Taco. He is 30. Haqparast is also 30. What's Haqparast been up to lately? Let's get a refresher. He lost to Quillen Salkild. No shame in that. Before that, he beat Rebavix. Before that, he beat Jared Gordon. Before that, he beat Jamie Malarkey. Before that, he beat Quinones. So they're both, you know, not doing too bad. What are the odds on this one? We got, yeah, this one's close. We got Chris Padilla at plus 102, Nazarat at minus 122. Well, guys, I mean, just based off of how close it is, you know, just to be cheeky, throw a little bit of money on Chris. You know, take that plus 102. You know, why not? Why not throw a couple bucks on Chris at plus money? He could definitely get it done. It looks like they're very evenly matched. Yeah, they're even looking at their stats here. It's very closely matched. What's the over? Because I could definitely see this one going long as well. The over 2.5 is minus 200. So I don't know that I like any play for that. But yeah, I mean, be cheeky, throw a buck or two on Chris, you know. Now, coming up, we have 2 more guys with no pictures. So 2 more of UFC's newbie specialties that they can pay 10 and 10 that nobody cares about. We have Marcio Barbosa against Ryan Kuse. This is a 145 fight, and nobody cares. So what are the odds? We'll look at the odds at least. Yeah, another massively lopsided. Marcio Barbosa minus 750 to Ryan Kuse's plus 525. When you have like entry level guys, I don't care. There should never be like that big of favorites when you're talking entry level guys, because anything can happen for guys that suck. Guys that suck fight wild and make mistakes, and and that's not me judging. That's coming from a guy who also sucks. We make mistakes and we fight wild, and so be cheeky, throw a little bit of money on the Ryan Kuse kid, because again, last week 2 over plus 700 favorites won. So, coming up, we have another newbie special. We have a picture of Gage Young, but it's literally a picture of Gage Young in his old fight promotion stuff, not UFC stuff. So he's clearly new. I do recognize that name. He must have been on Contender Series or something, right? I recognize the name. Let's see. Oh no, I recognize him. Now I see the picture of the face. Yeah, he's been in the UFC for a little bit. Yeah, he's been, this will be his 4th fight in the UFC. So he lost on Contender Series, then he won in FAC after that. Then he got back in the UFC and immediately lost again. But then he won against Machete, and then he won against Thiago Moises. Boy, how far Thiago Moises has fallen. I remember that fight now. But Thiago Moises is like the ghost of Thiago Moises. How about this Stan Dorsainvil guy that he's fighting? So this Stan Dorsainvil is making his debut against Gage Young. His last fight was in LFA, where he won in KO 3rd round. So again, LFA is not a bad promotion, but this is a newbie. What are the odds on this one? Gage Young minus 155. Stanley Dorsainvil plus 130. I don't have any lean one way or another on this one. I've seen Gage fight. He's not bad, but yeah, he's like a wild, brawly little redneck kid. Yeah, give me him. Was he the favorite? Remind me. Yeah, he was the minus 155 favorite. I'd say he'll probably take it, but that's, take it with a grain of salt. Moving on, we have Wes Schultz against Jackson McVey at middleweight. Jackson McVey, I seen him fight recently. Didn't he just beat the Dumont guy? Yeah, Dumas. Yeah, he just subbed Dumas in the 1st round. Before that, he lost to Zachary Reese by sub in the 2nd round. Before that, he lost by sub in the 1st round to Bruno Ferreira. And then the fights before that were just LFA. So he's 1-2 in the UFC so far. And the only guy he's actually beaten is probably the worst fighter on planet Earth, and maybe, surprisingly so, even worse than his fighting. He might even be an even worse human than he is a fighter. So don't come after my girl, Dumas, you piece of shit. Let's see, Wes Schultz. He is 2-1 in the UFC if you count Contender Series, which I don't. So we'll just say he's 1-1 in the UFC. He won his last one against B. Johnston, and before that he lost to Pinas. These are both long hair, hippie looking dudes that need a shave and a haircut. I don't know. It looks like they probably both fucking suck. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. I'm not trying to be judgmental. They don't suck. Nobody in the UFC sucks, except for Dumas. But they're both entry-level guys. We'll put it that way. Wes Schultz is a plus 145. Jackson McVey is minus 175. I mean, honestly, yeah. I don't have a lean on this one. Honestly, it looks like they're both, not great at all. So, put your money where your heart is, I suppose. Moving on, the last fight, or I guess the first fight, but the last one we're talking about is Chanel Dyer against Elise Reed. I know I've seen both of them fight. What are the odds? Another massive lopside. We have Chanel Dyer at minus 850 to Elise Reed's plus 575. I mean, what has Chanel Dyer done that makes you guys think that she is a god? So she lost her Contender Series fight, and then she's had one fight in the UFC that she won by KO against an R. Oliveira. Okay, so clearly she hasn't done anything that should make you think that she's a fucking god. She's 7-1. Elise Reed is 8-5. What's she done that makes you think that she's the worst fighter on earth? DraftKings. I mean, she's at least been in the UFC a bunch. She's 2-3 in her last 5, all in the UFC. She lost against Lakbumi. Then she beat Jay Fry. Then she lost against Lupe Godinez. Then she won against Jay Penne. And then she lost against Denise Gomez. So, I mean, she's been fighting like a much higher level of competition anyways. I don't know. This is a woman's fight. It is what it is. They're going to throw punches and kicks and try to take each other down, and there's going to be refs and announcers and blah, 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 blah. Who cares? But I will tell you one thing. That's another one that throw a couple bucks on Elise Reed at plus 575 because, I mean, I don't see anything that tells me Chanel Dyer's a world beater. I mean, Elise Reed definitely isn't either, but I mean, anything can happen in just a sloppy entry-level woman's fight. So, you going to give plus 575? I mean, sure, I'll take it. You guys remember when Maria Agapova, because she won like one fight and had some tattoos, and some people thought she was attractive or something, I guess, they decided to make her like a minus 1,200 favorite, and then she proceeded to lose like her next 27 fights in a row. Like, yeah, these odds makers are wild sometimes. So, yeah, that's it, guys. That's the card. How are we doing on time? We have been 42 minutes. I was trying to keep it a little tighter than that even. I was aiming for 30, so let's get through the positive message portion quick. Even though, we shouldn't skimp on it. We're not going to skimp on it. We're just going to tighten it up. You have to stop me from rambling a little bit. Guys, mental health is a real thing. It exists. Believe it or not. I'm here to tell you. I'm here to shed light on this because you might not have known this, that you have a brain and a heart and a soul, and mental health exists, and depression exists, and anxiety exists. Anger exists, and happiness exists too. That's the good news. We can be happy. We can choose to fight the depression and the anger and the anxiety by being positive and eating good, clean, whole, healthy foods and working out and talking to friends and family and reaching out to loved ones and getting sunlight. And it's a beautiful thing. And that's what we have to do. It is a step-by-step process. Sometimes you just feel defeated and things aren't going right in life. Maybe it's at work, or maybe it's relationship things, or maybe you've got some sort of family drama going on. But, one way or another, sometimes we just have a hard time dealing with things. And sometimes you just want to stay in bed and don't do anything, or you're just going through the motions. I know personally, I like to give personal examples. Because, you can only talk about things that you know about. And I know about depression and anxiety and anger. And I know about happiness because I'm working on that every day. But I know for me, sometimes it could just get to a point where it just creeps up on you, man. And, you don't even fully realize you think you're fine, right? Because you're just going through the motions, Hey, I'm fine, why are you bothering me? Someone might reach out and be like, you don't seem yourself lately, or, your spouse or your loved one or whatever. or your kids, they might mention, you seem off, or you seem distant, and to you, you don't. And it can make you annoyed because you're like, well, I'm doing what I do every day. I'm going to work and I'm coming home and I'm taking out the trash, and I'm taking a shower and I'm watching TV with the fam, and I'm going to bed and I'm going to work again, blah blah blah. But there's just I don't know, it's a weird thing that can creep up that it makes it to sometimes it's hard for you to even really notice. One day you're in a good streak and you're happy and you're not letting the scaries in, and when your kid comes home after school and shows you something, or when you get home from work or whatever and your kid's showing you something, you're truly enthusiastic about it, right? And you're happy and you're asking your kid questions about it, or finding out deeper about their day or whatever, and you're tackling them. Say you got a son, you're tackling that little fucking psychopath as soon as you get home, and things like that. You're coming up, you're kissing your wife or your husband. I don't judge, whatever. You're, but it it can creep up on you to the point though that you get to where now you're coming home and maybe you don't go and kiss your spouse, and you just sit on the couch and you throw on the TV or something, and maybe your kid comes up and tells you a story about school or a Lego build they're working on or something, and maybe instead of like being enthusiastic about it and asking further questions and sharing in their enthusiasm, you can sometimes just get in the zone where you're, oh yeah, cool, yeah, cool, buddy, oh yeah, good job, oh yeah, cool, okay, well, I'm watching my show now, or something like that. And kids are cool, kids are resilient. A lot of times the kid won't say anything to you about it, they'll just, yeah, and smile and go off and play. But it affects them, I'm telling you. They can tell when you're more distant, and they can tell when you're just kind of shooing them off or feeding them emotions, and not giving them the attention, man. On the kid thing, it goes by so quick, man. And it's not like I'm an authority on this. Mine's 11, but it's like it was yesterday. He was just 2 years old, a little toddler running down the halls, and barely street. Ah, man, I miss those times, but it goes by quick. So don't take it for granted. Don't take your significant other for granted too, because especially if you have one, and if you have a good one, if you have a good person in your life, you've been together for a long time, that's getting so rare. That's like a rare currency these days. That's so rare for people to stick it out, and out there in the world. I mean, dating culture and morals and things like that have gotten so skewed in this day and age that, man, if you got a good setup going on, you need to be appreciative, and you need to be thankful, and you need to be showing those people your appreciation and thankfulness, because that's going to help you and that's going to help them, and it spreads. All of this, it spreads. The positivity you spread goes to your kids, and then they go and spread positivity to their little friends, and then you spread that positivity to your significant other, and they go and spread it to their friend group, and maybe they bring it home and spread it to their significant others. And man, it's a wonderful thing when we focus less on spreading negativity and judging others, and it doesn't cost anything to just be pleasant and be happy, and go spread some pleasantness and some happiness around, and it helps you a lot. And so, yeah, that's what I'll say on the topic for this time is, yeah, just get out there, keep doing your thing, guys. We're building an awesome community here. I appreciate every one of you, and we're just going to keep building this brick by brick, because we're building a positive space where we can talk about things like this and get real with each other, and spread positivity, and it's a great thing. I say it in every video, but it's not a me thing, it's a we thing. We're in this together. I'm rooting for you guys. I hope you're rooting for me. And yeah, just get out there, get some sunlight, get some exercise, play with your kids, appreciate your significant other. If you don't have one, go find one. They're out there somewhere, maybe. Who knows? It's rare these days, but go talk to friends, go make new friends, talk to some family you haven't seen or talked to in a while. your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your grandparents, whatever. Just spread that influence. Be positive. Be positive today. That's it, guys. I will try to do a live chat after the fights on Saturday, but it is my birthday, like I said, so I might not, because I might spoil myself. I might have some lingua tacos and spoil myself a little bit for my birthday. Maybe have a Corona or two. I don't know. But, it is what it is, guys. If I have time and the card's good, I'll try to jump on a live Saturday. If not, maybe I'll do the live Sunday, but I definitely want to get to doing the lives after every card, as I enjoy hanging out with you guys and talking to you in those. So look for that. Subscribe, like, because that's when you'll get notified when I go live. You'll see all my videos. I've got a lot of ideas, for videos, and geez, 50 minutes now. I've got to stop. I'm a rambler, guys. Sorry, I talk a lot. But I have ideas for other videos to do, and collaborations I want to do. I'm still working on it. We're still growing the channel. We got a lot of fun things down the pipeline, so keep growing with me. Make sure to like and subscribe. Buckle up for the ride. We're going to keep pumping things out. I'm going to do things, as I can do them, and as we grow and more opportunities are going to pop up, and we're going to do some fun things with this channel. So thank you, guys. Later.